Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our weekly call. Happy Thursday. It is our 95th call. I hope you guys are having a wonderful end of March. God, this year is going by fast, and it's already springtime. Well, let's bring up Jesse and Chris. What's up? Good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning.
Hello. Happy Thursday, everyone.
Bien, Gimiao, amigos. Hello, three amigos.
How's your guys' Thursday so far?
So far,
great.
so good. So far,
I got
so good.
free breakfast. I went to an AI breakfast agent lunch or breakfast networking thing, and there was like breakfast burritos and building agents was the topic. So that was kind of fun.
I mean, that sounds like a pretty tasty combo, to be honest.
Yeah. That sounds great. You've been in SF for a couple of weeks now, and I feel like you've. I mean, obviously, we know Silicon Valley is the place to be for tech. But it's interesting to see just how different it is compared to Seattle, which is also a tech hub, but it's just not the same energy.
It totally isn't. And, if you walk around, even though it's a tech city, pretty much you're always going to meet someone who works for Amazon or Microsoft, and you're not meeting anybody that's a decision maker, essentially. While here, there's so many startups and founders, and also just so many companies on AI. So you'll meet someone who could probably either introduce you to someone or make something happen, or it's a startup and they just got funded, so they actually can be a pretty decent customer even with like a small seed round. They got to allocate that money and make things happen quick, right? So there actually a lot of startups are good customers actually, and they move fast. We move fast. We move fast. We want to we're flexible, right? They're flexible. It's like that kind of deal. So we can grow with them. They can grow with us. So yes, that's pretty awesome. Last night, I got to see the OpenAI office, which is pretty slick, pretty cool.
Jesse, you're breaking up.
Oh, you are? Am I?
A little bit right there. So despite being in the tech hub of the world, Christopher, you're on mute. Guys, come on.
They said it was the tech hub, not the internet cable hub. Somebody probably stole it to, I don't know, sell for drugs or something.
Yeah. No, these are real IRL burritos. They're but it's pretty cool. I got to hear a lot of pitches. The other thing too is it really steps up your game. Everyone here is used to hearing other people pitch something. So whether it's you're just a product guy or whatever, everyone wants to talk their book like really well here. So some people exaggerate a lot, that happens too. But they'll say oh, so have you seen the you see that scanning system at Whole Foods? Yeah, I built that for Amazon. I was like, oh, you mean you and the team? Or just you built it? So you get that little exaggerations. But overall, it's a good energy.
It's like you could go there and say, I created Post-its and really mean it. You guys don't get that reference, do you?
I don't, to be honest.
Romy and Michelle's high school reunion.
Nope.
Created Post-its.
Nope. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Never mind. All right. Well, okay, guys, it is our 95th weekly call. We are creeping up on number 100. Keep it 100. What are we going to do for a 100 call?
We should probably do a community prize for sure. So, Sir Roz, we got to do something. And let me just say to this guy, hell yeah, you're here. So we believe in you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we got 100th call where the community is going and everyone's tuning in. So this is going to be a good one for you to check out. We should do something. We should have some kind of badge or some prize for sure.
Yeah. Well, it is our 95th weekly call, build with UpRock.ai. And as you can see in the top right-hand corner there, our country of the week is Ireland.
Yep.
And so we'll talk about that in just a second. Before we get going, though, just a reminder, we're going to do some Q&A at the end. So if you have questions, pop them in the chat. and we will answer them at the end, unless, of course, it is relevant to the topic at hand, and then we'll do it then. I will also, through the stream, hop on Discord to see if there's anything on there. However, at this point, if you have a question, it's best to put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's get started. Reika's suggestion for our 100 weekly call: challenge ourselves to, let's have a drawing or singing contest. Easy for you to say when you're, you know what? Actually, I was gonna say easy for you to say when you're not on camera to sing, but guess what, Reika?
You can come join us for that. But no, here's the great thing about language. I can interpret that sentence on how I want. You interpreted it as, let's have a contest of type, drawing, or singing. I interpreted it as let's have a drawing, like where we give something away, or a singing contest. And I choose a drawing where somebody gets a prize rather than a singing contest.
Or a drawing on who gets to sing. Why am I making this worse for myself? This is gonna make you.
This is definitely getting worse. Yes.
Yes. But I do like that. Actually, for a second, when she said drawing, I was thinking like doodle. I can't draw. Can you guys draw? Well, no, I know you can't, Chris. I've seen your drawing.
Draw.
You can?
Yeah, absolutely. Just the same way I do UI. I think it looks excellent.
Oh. You can draw a cigar.
And you know what? Everybody always says to believe in yourself and not to listen to the haters.
That's true. I'm being a hater. I'm sorry.
No. But you're also being accurate, so don't be sorry.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, let's just get into it. We'll figure out what we're gonna do for the 100 call. But I think, it would be great to have everybody on the team in the stream.
Sure. Yeah, we do have an arsenal, Jen. You know, we have a karaoke arsenal, so.
I know we do, Jesse, but it's totally different when you broadcast it to the world versus broadcast it in your private Nordebahn.
Yeah, with the reverb. There's no reverb on webcam. There's no filters.
See, Jesse is confusing karaoke and singing, which is a common mistake that people make, but they're not actually the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Totally true, Christopher. So when I was in the Philippines, so here in America, in Seattle, I think I'm a pretty good karaoke singer. I dare say I think I even maybe a good singer. Mm-hmm. And then I went to the Philippines, stayed out in the boonies, just in the countryside with my family, and I realized that I am a good karaoke singer because of the good equipment that we have in Seattle. Yeah. They are great singers despite their equipment. The equipment they have is so bad. Everybody sounds terrible except for Filipinos. They all still sound like Celine Dion. So no, I'm not a good singer. I was very much humbled last year or earlier this year when I saw everybody. It's tough.
Well.
But Christopher, your song is what? What's your song?
Solo Cup.
Red Solo Cup.
I fill you up. I mean, it depends on what mood I'm in, but it's been a long week, and I've been dry as a river. So.
Well, you know what? Speaking of dry, chat, Christopher's also very good at WAP. So maybe
that happened once. Okay. I don't even know who put that on.
And you nailed it.
I doubt that only happened once because you were just 100% you knew every line. You knew the inflection.
It happened once that you know about.
There you go. All right. Well, we'll think about what we're going to do. Anyway, guys, let's go into the week. Our agenda this week is, we got Ireland week. We'll talk about swarm power.
Nice.
We have some results from.
I'm really excited about that. It's a release that not all of you will have seen yet. Depends on whether you're into the whole AI thing or not. But it's super exciting for the community.
Yeah. It is very exciting. So we'll actually spend a pretty good amount of time on that one. Mm-hmm. And then we'll move over to our global internet survey results. A reminder of our creator program. We got some product updates. We'll do answer some questions if we got some, and then we're out of here.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay. Now, for all of you folks from the Emerald Isles, from the beautiful land of Ireland, it is your week.
And you know that AI is getting in on it because it's a leprechaun holding a GPU. The reality is nowadays people don't want a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They want a pot of NVIDIA GPUs.
Yeah,
that's the real treasure.
That little metal box is probably worth 40 grand right there.
Oh, at least. If that's a B200, it's worth like 80.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, Ireland, it's your week.
Nobody's gonna get nobody's gonna get my GPUs. Nobody.
No, nobody. There always have to be GPUs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Or my AI tokens. There always have to be tokens. Okay, sorry, Irish folks.
No, we love that Irish accent. Whenever we go to Dublin, I can't help myself but slip into it. I'm always, after the first Guinness, I'm always like, can I get a pint of Guinness and a glass of Guinness, please? And I was like, where did that come from? I'm sorry. I don't know why I did that way. I just want to.
And you don't look especially Irish, so it is particularly jarring.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like we think we're doing Irish accents and they're like thinking, what the hell?
Like, goddamn Americans, you can tell them from a mile away.
You can hear them from a mile away too.
I do love how sometimes when you're like in Dublin, they'll measure things in pints of Guinness. You know, I heard people say like, so how far is that place? Oh, it's about 2 Guinness. Like, nice.
How does that math work?
Well, you have to stop every so often and refresh.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, right. There you go. That's what
speaking of countries that love to drink and sing, just like Philippines, I mean, Ireland's where it's at. Like some of the best fun times I've ever had was some of those pubs there. And it went away for a while and they're bringing it back. I've heard that some of the pub life kind of went away after some at one point, not just COVID, but it just wasn't a thing that young people did, but they're bringing it back. And a lot of people are actually going and it's like all ages. It's an awesome vibe. Yeah. Oh. And of course we love Jameson. Yes, sir.
So when I went to Ireland, to Dublin, the first time I was thinking, oh, I wonder if people really drink Guinness. Or is it like Foster's is Australian for beer? You know, it's just kind of an American. Like, I don't even know if in Australia they love Foster's, but you know, is it like an import?
Even sell Foster's in Australia.
They don't. Okay, so I was wondering, is it like that? Like we just think it's like Haagen-Dazs. We think it's a European like ice cream brand. It's like an American ice cream or something. It's like, oh, I bet I wouldn't be surprised if they don't really drink Guinness. And I land, it's like, oh no. They really drink Guinness. They love it.
It tastes better there. It tastes better there for some reason.
It tastes better there. Yeah. Everything's better. And that I went on a big tour of their brewery there. Really cool. Yep. And the Jameson brewery or distillery in Dublin was really cool too. And I don't even drink whiskey. Yeah. But I got me a couple bottles.
The Jameson distillery is pretty fun. And they take you through, you really learn the process. But there's one moment where, first of all, they give you a shot before you start. And then in the middle of the tour, they bring out to really hit home that Jameson's the best. They bring out a shot of Johnny Walker Black, Jack Daniels, and some other.
They bring out a shot of Johnny Red. Let's be honest. And I feel like they cut it with 50% gasoline. I mean, I like Jameson, but I'm not convinced. They don't say what they bring out on the tour. They just bring out 2 other ones, and they're like, "See, these are famous whiskeys, and Jameson's so much better." And I'm like, "Yeah, famous according to who? Bums who sleep under the bridge, or like?" It's a rough comparison. The Jameson tastes very good.
That's what they do. They bring out the Jack Daniels, which is pretty sweet, and then Johnny and some other brand, and then you have the Jameson. And so you not only do you start off with the drink before you start, but then this crowd is like, it's a mixed crowd. So no one speaks things like, there's people from China, from like South America, like everyone you can tell like doesn't speak the same language, but then we're all looking at each other with 4 shots in front of our face. We're like, are we all about to just get shot? What's happening?
It's 11 a.m. on a Tuesday morning.
4 shots in a row. And of course, Jameson's last, and there's like, see, tastes better, right? But at that point, we're like, yeah, everything tastes great.
Well, no, except for the Jack, because remember they asked everybody, how do you like the Johnny? People are like, I like that, and then you do the JMO, like, oh, I really like that, and then do the Jack, and everyone he's like, does anyone like the Jack Daniels? And everyone's like, no, because it's so sweet. Rough, you know? Or was it Jack? Or they also did? I thought they also did like Jim Beam or something, some bourbon.
Yeah, they did Jim Beam.
They did Jim Beam, and it was like rough.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Even the Americans, like all of us Americans,
again,
like,
I'm not convinced they're not pouring some gasoline in it before they serve it to you, because it's not as rough as I remember it. But
and then after that, they give you a drink ticket on the way out, so everyone's just best friends at that point.
Yes.
So I guess if you walk away from the Jameson tour like sober, they fucked up. So they did a good job.
Yes, you didn't get the real cultural experience, I think.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. If you ever go to Dublin, it's one I recommend. Some of the smaller distilleries are fun too, but that's actually a pretty decent one for being a big mainstream tour. Yeah.
So I don't drink whiskey, and but I bought myself a bottle there.
Yeah.
What? I bought myself a bottle there, and I thought that it was like a bottle that you could only get in at that distillery. So I was really excited about it, and I went to an Irish bar in a pub in Seattle, and I was talking to the bartender about my trip there. I was like, "Yeah, I got this really fancy bottle. You can only get it at the Jameson Distillery in Dublin. So I'm never gonna open it unless because I don't drink. But when I die, then I invite my friends and family to open this bottle, and they can drink it on my behalf." Like, and he's like, "Well, what bottle is it?" I was like, "It's called Black Label or something." He's like, "It's right here up on my bar." Like, he's like, "This is the most common." What is it? I have it here somewhere.
You're like, man, those ladies at the gift shop, they really got me.
Yeah, Black Barrel. I got Black Barrel. It's in my thing here. And he's like, "I have that right there." It's like so common. Like, okay, well, shit. Well, you saved me from looking like a cheap ass at my funeral.
Well, but I mean, I hate to say it, by the time it's your funeral, you won't care anymore.
I won't care. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, Ireland, it's fun talking about Ireland. It is your week. You get double your earnings. Nothing you need to do other than have UpRock running in the background and contributing to the DPIN. And we encourage you to do a couple things to avoid interruptions. One is turn on notifications. You can do that in your settings in the app. And that will allow us to send you a notification whenever there's some sort of interruption. But we need you to like manually open the app again. When you open the app, it just restarts the connection. So you keep contributing. So do that. And you can also install the home screen widget. So you can at a glance see what is your earn rate, what's your earn status, and a very, very nice, easy reminder about how you're earning or what you're earning. This is let me share this with you there's our X post. So go check it out. This is going on. It started on the 23rd. It goes on until the 30th. So get your double earnings. Oh, also, always recommend you to take advantage of Rocket Boost, which everyone should do, but especially if you're in the country of the week or region of the week. And you get a boost for doing multiple things, such as answering surveys, playing games, referring people. We'll have more ways to get Rocket Boost, but right now, those are great ways to do that. You can play as many games as you want. You can answer as many surveys as are available to you. And each of those give you a UPTP reward as well as a boost on your earn rate. And those boosts can last anywhere from a half a day to 3 days. So go ahead and play games and answer surveys and stack those boosts.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool.
All right. Great. Okay, you got until the 30th, Ireland. All right. Now we have some really big things to share, some fun stuff to share. Hang on real quick. I see here you have no social media and you're feeling excluded. Well, you know what? There's a really great post that we just shared about upgrading your OpenClaw with Swarm Power, but you're in luck, my friend, because you're here to hear us talk about it.
That's right. You're already in the community, man. You're here. So
yeah, you are here. So here, let me put this in here in the chat real quick so you can see what we are talking about. But breaking news. The first OpenClaw DPIN is live, and you can now earn tokens by running smart browsing tasks on the Swarm. So I think
not just earn tokens, you can then use them for your OpenClaw to actually have access to the UpRock web research and the UpRock network for calling and fetching and everything you're going to do. So I am so excited about this. All right, can I finally talk about this now? I wanted
Yeah,
to
I
talk about
should.
this last
Yes,
week, and I sort of said
maybe
something.
everybody
Jesse
in
was
chat,
like,
who has like OpenClaw agent running? Someone, if you guys running OpenClaw, let us know in the chat. Curious to see who's running OpenClaw right now. And then go, Chris. Like give a synopsis too.
So, all right. So for those of you who don't know, OpenClaw is a super popular framework for running agents. And by the way, when we say OpenClaw, there's like official OpenClaw, and then there's all these forks and other versions and stuff like that. Anyway, what does everybody's AI agent need? Well, it needs to be able to access the web and actually do web research. It needs to be able to load websites. It needs to have websites unblocked, all that kind of stuff. And what is UpRock great at? Well, that. So we thought, hey, you know what we should do? We should make it really easy, because we've been telling people for a couple of weeks now, you can go get our MCP URL and then you can install it in your AI. And some people did, but this way it's super easy. So NPM is the node package manager or whatever, but it's the tool that most people use for installing skills in their OpenClaw. And now they can install UpRock and start using the network right now. But even better, most people who are running OpenClaw, at least a lot of them, have a standalone dedicated desktop device for that. And this is a community that doesn't overlap with the Web3 community very much. A lot of the people who are really into AI, who went and bought a Mac Mini just to have OpenClaw, probably didn't actually, wouldn't have ever found us anyway. And so now, when they install the UpRock skill on their OpenClaw, they have the option to automatically sign up as an UpRock contributor as well. So we are growing the network, which makes it stronger for everybody, which lets us go get more jobs and more work and more things that we can use for token buybacks. And we are doing that. Every time somebody installs the UpRock skill in order to have access to our web research and our crawling, they also can, with just one command, join the UpRock network and start contributing as well. So this is incredibly cool. I'm so excited about this. This is just such a perfect, it works for both ways. It works for people who have an OpenClaw to be able to use UpRock and actually buy our services from our community, and it works for them to contribute. And a lot of people did go out and buy a Mac Mini or something similar to that in order to run their OpenClaw, and now it can actually earn its keep while it's sitting there, and while it's not running any other tasks for them, it can contribute to UpRock as well. So this is super exciting. I'm really excited about this.
Yeah. We have we launched the NPM package. So all you have to do, if you have an OpenClaw running, your OpenClaw is smart enough to know what to do. It just, all you have to do is paste that NPM I means install -d means global, and then UpRock. So put that in there, paste it in, it will install it. And then all of a sudden your OpenClaw has the full power of the UpRock network. It can do, like Chris said,
I hadn't seen this image yet. I love it, Jesse.
Yeah. And what's cool about this is, we've been talking about this for over a year. The agent swarm is coming. Everyone's going to have to rely.
The agent swarm is effectively here at this point.
Yeah.
A lot of people just don't know it yet.
Yep. And you will need your own agent to browse the internet to maintain and keep ahead, stay competitive, and just live life, digital life, because the cost of ideas is zero. Cost of content is zero. How do you find, so that means there's an explosion of ideas, explosion of links, explosion of content. And so you will need your personal agent to help you kind of sift through it all and find good things for whatever you're doing, whether it's daily life or your work or whatever. And so you want the power of the swarm on your side. So when you ask a question to your agent and say, hey, I need to get this information, or I need to get this insight, and that one prompt might require like crawling LinkedIn or Reddit or YouTube or whatever, maybe hundreds of sites. The agent today, the default tools are lame. They're puny skills. You will basically blocked, rate limited. You won't even know.
Even if you're not, you won't get the data you need. Our crawler powered by our community is so much better. We can get the information from the regions they need it, in the formats they need it. Our crawler, unlike a lot of the built-in tools that that OpenClaw has, it just dumps it, thousands and thousands of lines of raw HTML, which is very hard for agents to understand. Ours automatically extracts it and formats it in an agent-friendly way, makes it really easy and powerful.
And it's multi-engine. What that means is we can load it from like Bing, DuckDuckGo, Google, because each search engine provides different results. And multi-geo, right? Because you guys are global. The community is global. Was Ireland week this week. So why this matters? Because that term garbage in, garbage out matters here. So if you get really bad data, your personal agent that you rely on will always give you like subpar insights. If you use the UpRock network, you're just going to get high quality, real-time, multi-engine, multi-geo data, which means your agent's a lot smarter, more nuanced insights. That's better for prediction market. That's better for crypto. That's better for your business. And what's cool is everybody can do this with one command. And so we're growing the community with just one simple, we made it really easy. Just anybody who has OpenClaw, which is the fastest growing repo right now, open source project currently ever, as far as like popularity goes. And anyone can start with one command and join the UpRock community. And that means people are going to start paying to use the network. And that also, we use that revenue to buy back tokens. So this is why it's amazing for all of us, everyone in the community. Not only are you making it easy to grow the network by just one install, everyone who's now installing it are going to find how awesome the tools are, and eventually they're going to want to pay for it. And when they pay for it, that goes to buy back the token. So this is why we make that onboarding slick, super, super simple. So if you guys are interested in this, try it. Tell your friends. Everyone's going to have an agent. So if you haven't done this yet, it is pretty awesome. And this is the revolution of the human-machine interface that's changing the world right now. It's going to change everything, how you interact with your internet. And you will need it, because it's without it, the internet's going to be chaos. It's just too much content, too much ideas, Yeah, and like I said, we just past 3 days, we've had almost 700 people join the Claw Swarm, which is cool. And if you guys some of you are technically minded, so if you want a little more details, here is the actual, you can read a little more on the actual NPM, and there's a link there to the skill MD file if you want to see more details. For everyone else, you don't have to do that. Just paste a command, and it will help you. He'll help you set it up. It's a few seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, the setup process is good. This was actually one of those. Even though this is like a text user interface, you're in the terminal. This is one where Jesse, having you apply your sort of design, what's the word I'm looking for? Like your design aesthetic or your design ideas to it, really made it a lot easier. I mean, one of the, people still need to be able to log in, figure out what's going on. It needs to be simple and straightforward. Yeah. So
actually, and we should have. You know what? We always say this, but we didn't. We should have Gabor, who actually really spearheaded the package building, and also Tufan helped too as well. And sometimes we should have some of the team come on and talk about their own project. But yeah, you're right. They spent extra time, because that was actually the last minute detail. We're like, hey, what happens if someone installs it? Can they just get started right away or not? And we have to think that through too, because you don't want to have to go to another site, get your keys, get your password. Then it's not slick anymore. It's not fast. Yeah. So we thought through all of that. Gabor and Tufan, great job, guys. Yeah.
Great work. Yep. And as a reminder, guys, there is a 5,000 for a limited time, 5,000 AI credits as a welcome bonus.
Yep.
And then 5,000 free AI credits monthly to get started.
Yeah.
So really take advantage and get started with this.
Yeah. So
so where are the instructions?
So I posted here. This is all you need to know. Boom. Just paste that into your OpenClaw agent. So
that's it.
Now OpenClaw itself has a website. If you're curious, you might have seen this in the news, because it's getting so popular now, and so many people are using it for their personal life. It's like you can set up an agent to just work for you while you sleep. And their site's getting better. So the first instructions is obviously you need to set one up. So you can go to OpenClaw.ai, and they have a pretty good instructions. And essentially what it does is it allows your agent, you can create an agent that has access to a computer, like your laptop or your home machine, or if you have a dedicated Mac, that's great. But it can just be laptop, and then you connect it to some social app so you can chat with your agent. So that can be WhatsApp, it could be Telegram, it could be Discord, it could be Slack. And now when you do that, anytime you're just out and about 24/7, you can just have it do things for you, and you can slowly open up the permissions. So if you're a little nervous, just give it access to the one folder. If it has access to the browsing with UpRock. But if you want to do more things like email, you can slowly give it more access, and it's getting safer and safer because it's so popular. So you got to do your homework on some of these things. Don't go YOLO into this thing on every single thing, right? It's still it's very powerful. And so when stuff like that happens, there are a lot of hackers trying to screw with you. So but learn it. It's really it's pretty fun, and that's one way. So that's one tool to do. or just or YOLO. Or Rika said, just fucking YOLO.
no YOLO, no YOLO.
I do YOLO. So one of the funny things is like, I was watching an OpenClaw demo yesterday. I was at a hackathon, and some guy made this agent that like responds for him on social media. So and he also makes it respond to his mom's texts. This is like, hey mom, and so it was a pretty funny demo. And the first question afterwards, like, hey, some guy asked, like, hey, great demo. So what's in your tech stack? The guy's like, tech stack? Oh, I don't know, just vibes. That's his answer. I don't know, vibes.
You forwarded that to me, and I wonder if it's true or not, or if I wonder if it's just like a piece of performance art. Some of the people who are going on and on loudly about like, oh, I don't even code anymore. It's all the agents or whatever. There's a kernel of truth in that, which is that they're probably writing less lines of code by hand. But it takes a deep skill and knowledge and a ton of work to get great results. A bunch of people on the UpRock team are using AI agents very deeply, and they're amazing, and they absolutely increase the velocity of our work incredibly. But anybody who tells you that it doesn't require thought or it doesn't require a deep knowledge of what you're doing is lying to you. You need to know what you want, how it needs to work, all that kind of stuff. The agents are great. They're amazing at translating well-written descriptions into individual lines of code. Wonderful. They can, and what I love about them, I don't know, maybe people who are like, if you have like a passion for art or a passion for making things or whatever, you have the same kind of thing. But sometimes often in the past, my big challenge has been I can know what needs to be done next much faster than I can really type the code. Like I can only type code as fast as I can type, but my brain is just running ahead of me with what's going on. And with agents now, where I can use dictation to, I can speak as fast as I want and dictate, and then just be very precise, and then, dictate a couple of paragraphs, and then write the key pieces of code I care about, and then dictate a couple of paragraphs, and then send that whole file to an agent to let it fill in all the little pieces, all the boring stuff and all that kind of stuff. And then come back and check on it later, and while I'm working on another one. So we've shown off before that some of the tooling we've built for this Maestro and things like that. It is amazing, and I do, the whole purpose of Maestro was actually to allow the agents to make edits on their own, to be able to turn them loose to edit the code. But you won't get good results unless you know what you're trying to get. But what's amazing is now, with the help of agents, I can actually code almost as fast as I can think of it, which is really spectacular.
Yeah, it's awesome. And so OpenClaw is one way to do this, by the way. So if you have that set up, great. Install the NPM package from UpRock. It instantly upgrades it. Literally, your OpenClaw is actually earning tokens. This is how we onboard more people to the community, and it can do more work. So if you are doing significant web workloads, which every agent has to do, you need to upgrade. And if you don't use OpenClaw, and if you use like Perplexity Computer or Claude or ChatGPT or any of these tools, they all we have other ways to plug into the UpRock network.
So if you go to UpRock.ai, just go hit MCP, click generate me a key, and you can go to any of those tools and ask it to set that up, and then it will gain those skills as well.
And there's instructions there how to do so. And if there's anything confusing, come to the live stream, let us know, we'll improve it. Okay? Yeah. So this is really exciting, guys. This is actually, it's amazing because it's like it's bringing on we're overlapping with another huge community of people who are building, and they need to use UpRock tools to do better. And we're going to enable them to earn tokens and also spend tokens and earn money, and that revenue and pay, for the tools, and that revenue goes back to buying the token. And so it is just getting started, and we already got hundreds of people already installing just past couple of days. So we have almost 700 actually. So pretty awesome.
Right, exactly. So go check out tokenomics, uprock.com/tokenomics for more information on how our tokenomics works. As Jesse and Christopher were just sharing about bringing in the revenue and going back to buy back and burn our token. Cool. And Pisky says it would be great to have an AI tutorial with rewards as hardcore motivation. Well, sir, you are in luck, because we do have our creator program. So if anyone is inspired by what you just saw today, what you saw last week, what you've been seeing for weeks on end, and want to play around with with Maestro, you want a vibe code, or you're a vibe coder, now you want your vibe research with UpRock.ai. You want to take advantage of the Swarm, the OpenClaw Swarm.
Yeah.
UpRock Swarm. Make some content, get paid. You get 30% lifetime revenue for making content, joining our creator program, making content. And you know what? You'd be helping people just like Pisky, who's looking for a tutorial on how to, or maybe Pisky, you want to make a tutorial. And here, this is how you can make some more money, make some more income. So please go join that and help spread the word and show people how to use what you can build, what you can make, because you can vibe code so much stuff, but now you have vibe research. You can actually, with UpRock AI, UpRock Insight Stacks, you can actually hydrate those prototypes into real living products, like with real data, real world intelligence, real time intelligence. So go.
This is the huge missing piece. If you've ever tried building within the last 6 months or year or even a couple of years using one of these AI site designers or one of these tools to build a website, they're great. And they'll make you a beautiful site, and then they'll say, and they'll just say, and hey, all you have to do is just give me a link to all your data, and then I can put the real data in, because all they can do is just make up example data. There's no way for them to actually access real data, and that's what UpRock brings. We've shown off some examples of this. We have more on the way, but yeah, I'm so excited. Delivering the OpenClaw skill was really, for those of you who are on this call, if you're super into Web3 and you're not super into AI, you might be like, cool, they showed me a line of text, but this is a really, if go use your favorite search engine and ask it why it would be important for a DPIN like UpRock to be installed on lots of OpenClaw devices. This is a huge product release for the community, even though it's not a beautiful product release because it doesn't have a visual user interface. It's an extremely important product release. I'm really mad props to the team for getting this out so quickly, and everybody for getting this working. So I'm really excited.
Yeah. I tell you what, you guys, I went to 3 hackathons and like agent demo events in SF, and I showed off the UpRock app, and I showed off the agent, and I showed off what we built with the NPM package. And honestly, we were the only one that had this swarm power, and everyone was just blown away. Actually got every demo I finished, people would come up to me, create an account, installed it, and I have a few, like every single day I got a few customers to sign up. And so that's what we want. We want people to sign up. This
is just in rooms with 50 or 100 people in them.
And
so they're going to tell people about it.
Yep. Yeah. So like use cases where like one person's building a TikTok style language learning app, like a Duolingo, but more TikTok video like. And so she's constantly scraping the internet for just content and content ideas and what are people doing on YouTube. She's signing up. That's a perfect example. And then the other folks are like just using OpenClaw themselves to find leads on LinkedIn and other places, and they want to just do more work, so they signed up. So it's like individuals and also companies and startups are signing up. We're giving them some generous amount of credits to get going, and then anyone who's like doing this as a real business, we create Slack channels for you. We go inside, we can give you example code snippets, really help you unblock the internet and find out your use case and help you out, and like really really hands-on right now. And so it's been great. And so all that revenue, every new customer is going to have revenue that increases our buyback. So this is why we've been cooking on this for a while, and UpRock.ai is fueled by UpRock.com, by the community. For community, AI for the web intelligence tools for the AI future. And we're just like the traction we're getting, the responses and the signups is great. And but there's so much going on that sometimes just being here and seeing someone in person, you can just trust it more. So people are willing to like, oh, cool, this is a real guy behind this real team. Let me try it out. So it's been great. Yeah. Yep.
Well, and the other thing is you've already introduced me to a couple of people who you've met there who, they have startups, in some cases funded startups where they've done some super cool AI demos, right? A demo is even the wrong word. They've actually built something really cool, but they've built it for like one customer or one specific use case, and they need to expand it. And all of the data that they had for their first customer or for their first implementation or something like that, they gathered by hand, or they used a bunch of scripts, or they used an AI and a bunch of scripts in their own hands, and they all kind of cobbled it together. And what they're all missing is the data. All of you showed me one the other day, and I don't want to call these guys out too much because their product is amazing, but they kind of have the demo set up and running, and we're talking to them already to be UpRock customers. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
I hope we'll close them soon. But it's like, oh, okay, but how do they actually do it? And it's like, well, I guess they just like did a lot of Google searches and pulled it all together by hand for the first one. And I'm like, so for every other customer who they're ever going to turn on for their own product, they're going to need UpRock, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what everybody. That's why the UpRock community. That's why I'm so bullish on it. That's why it's so great to have you all here.
Yeah. Sweet. That's awesome, man.
Right. Well, okay. So guys, please join the creator program if you're interested. And you know what? Sasha asked this question at the beginning of the stream, which I think probably a good time to do a refresher. Sasha asked, I have one question today. Confused by high tech. Could somebody explain to me, like I'm a 5-year-old, what UpRock does now, as hard for me to explain to people what we do with the English barrier and so on, because so much has really so much. It's
so honestly, we haven't really changed that much. The difference is here on the weekly live streams, we are, as the community, as well as the product has matured and as the community has grown and as we're finally getting more customers, we're talking about more of the specific things we're doing on it, but we're still doing the same things. We're letting you earn. That's the top line. And how are we letting you earn? Well, all the obvious ones you know about, the games and the surveys and all that. But how are we letting you earn the rest of the time? We're using your idle bandwidth to allow AI companies and others, and that's the difference. But anyway, to allow AIs to actually access the network from your country, from your region, from your internet service provider, from your phone company, whatever it is, to load websites, to process those websites into meaningful data, and then send them back for the AIs. And maybe the biggest difference, when we first started, the only people who were actively buying that were a few nerds like me and like really big companies. But now there are, and I don't think this is even the slightest exaggeration, many hundreds of thousands of people who are doing this, maybe, probably many millions. I saw some research the other day, and Jesse, I think this was confirmed, and this was weeks ago. There were over 135,000 confirmed OpenClaw installations that were actively running. Those were all, or almost all, belonging to individuals. There are thousands more, many, probably hundreds of thousands, in fact, certainly many thousands of similar agents. And those are just talking about hobbyists and individuals and people like me and probably like some of you who set one up for themselves, not to mention all the companies that are doing it and all the use cases for this. So the web is just accelerating.
Yeah. How do you explain to grandma?
Okay, well, grandma's probably going to be using she's probably going to be an UpRock.com user, not .ai, right?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, first off, we're doing we have to explain a couple of different ways. So let's start with the first one. Maybe she's a UpRock.com user first before an AI user, right? So, as Chris said, UpRock is the UpRock app lets you earn passive income by sharing your unused bandwidth. And there's nothing you have to do other than just have it running. Yeah. You can earn tokens and that. And then you earn more tokens when companies access. You earn more when companies access the network that you are helping fuel.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if grandma has her own agent, now grandma's on the AI side, how would you explain this to grandma?
Well, AI so right now, honestly, as is often the case, the tech people are overcomplicating everything. The reality is, what grandma wants to do is be able to ask her phone, her device, her agent, her app. She wants to be able to ask it a question and get an answer. And that exists. That's called search engines, right? But it only exists so far. You can say, you have to ask search engines like, you say, hey, grilled meat restaurants near this particular location, or what is this one specific thing? And you'll get some results, and then you'll read through them, and then you'll do another search, and then you'll read some of those sites, and you'll see what's on them. And then when all of that's done, maybe you realize it's starting to be a lot of data. So you open yourself up a little document, and you start taking some notes, and then you go do some searching and you take some notes, and then you keep doing that. All you have to do in order to get that same kind of output with an AI agent is just give it a description of what you want. You say, hey, I'm really feeling meat on a stick. I'm really feeling grilled meat on a stick. That's my requirement. I want you to find me the best rated restaurants for meat on a stick, and tell me which ones are going to be hopping right now. And it can do all those basic searches, actually find the restaurants that look promising. It can read the reviews to see which ones are there. It can potentially look at pictures on social media, how much people are posting about it. What have people said? Is it even open? Somebody posted that comment on some local group last week about how, oh, despite what their hours, they actually usually close 2 hours earlier, right? All of that information feeds in, and it can actually just give you that output. And it can do that for any topic that you imagine. But the only way these AIs are capable of doing that is if they have access to search the internet and load websites from it. And that's the superpower that we enable. That Otherwise, the AIs are like a little clockwork automata. They run inside their box and they have no idea what happens outside their box. In order for them to interact with the world, you have to let them out of their box. And UpRock is a safe and effective way for them to get access to all that data.
Yep.
Right. So Sasha, if you ask ChatGPT, at least at its basic mode, it only knows how to answer from what it sort of knows or remembers. It's like if you have that one friend who's usually an expert on everything, but then sometimes they actually just learned something wrong and you have no idea. And certainly they don't know about any changes to anything that happened since they learned it months or years ago. They can't tell you. I mean, they fundamentally can't tell you anything that's happened recently. It's impossible, right? Because it happened after they were trained. So if you ask them about a sports score or something active, what's going on with restaurants, pricings, events, anything like that, they're incapable of knowing that because it's past their training cutoff.
The other thing
this is how it accesses it.
I would say the other thing a grandma would love to do is once she does use ChatGPT, most people are, if you're a little old, I just, if it's your first time experience, everyone, like my dad and everyone who's a little bit older, they're usually, their minds are blown. I mean, everyone who's using AI first time is like, wow, this is awesome. It feels like your personal friend just helping you search stuff on the internet. And once you get used to that, you're going to start asking stuff like, okay, so now grandma likes to cook, and maybe she wants to buy a new frying pan or something. She might assume this agent's so awesome, can do a lot of things. You might say, okay, I want to buy a frying pan. Can you recommend a good one? Or can you recommend a good one at a good price, or find me a good price? That agent might just do a one-time scan and find it at that moment. It might not even go deep enough. She assumes it can, because the default tools aren't that great. But when you have really deep multi-engine multi-geo search, you can actually find the best price. Plus, if it's not quite the price you want it at, you might say, okay, well, keep an eye out for me. When the price drops, can you let me know? That simple request is not possible. Because there's all the infrastructure below it requires the agent to observe and monitor. First, needs to find the sites that matter. Then it needs to have the ability to observe and monitor as things change. And then when things change, it needs to be able to send in a message, an alert, and say, hey, yeah, do something about it. I just found an alert. All chats right now are just reactive. They just give an answer only after a question. The future is coming where you have an agent that's on your side that knows what you care about and can actively observe, monitor, verify, and scrape. And you can do that through the UpRock network. You can observe, monitor, verify your site. You vibe coded a cool app. Cool. Does it actually run in Tokyo? No problem. We'll an open UpRock community device member in Tokyo will be loaded there and say, yeah, actually loads just fine. And so grandma will know her vibe coded site is actually working great worldwide. And that's what's cool about this world too. It's like you want to give it the tools to be able to observe, monitor, alert, verify, scrape. And that is superpowers that require really strong infrastructure. And that's what the UpRock community empowers. So yeah. So
in a way, you're basically, you could tell your grandma too. Basically, it becomes her favorite grandkid who's always thinking about her and calls her first.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
What I found for you, grandma.
The
fun more, Sasha, when she has that problem.
The funny thing is, I was just, Enrique saw my eyes going down to the screen because I've seen a couple people mentioning this in the chat today about how ChatGPT is often wrong. And what's interesting about that is I would tend to agree with you, but we evaluate, when we launched these tools and we launched the first version of the MCP now, what feels like a long time ago in AI land, but is actually only a few weeks ago. And we said, okay, people should install it and it will work in most AIs and blah, blah, blah. And people kept asking us, well, does it work in this one? And does it work in that one? And have you actually tested it? And so one of the things we've put together is we put together a test harness that tests all of the major AIs with the UpRock tools. So we're talking your Chat GPTs, your Claudes, your Google, Gemini, who else are we testing? I'm testing the Chinese models, DeepSeek and Moonshot, aka Kimi 2.5, testing Grok, testing the open models like the Llama models and Quen and all that kind of stuff. So we've done many tens of thousands of evaluation runs where we have the models research certain things but using different models, and we grade their responses and so on and so forth. And what's interesting about it is the GPT 5.4 models are actually some of the best performing models once you give them access to UpRock. They're actually quite effective at like organizing the data and extracting, like sort of taking the data and doing things with it, but they need the data in order to run. And it's really, really cool to see how these models perform when you actually give them access to this tool. We are going to, the only reason we haven't open sourced this yet, and I'll tell you why in a moment, but we are eventually going to find a way to share our dashboards and our leaderboard. Maybe not our internal dashboards, but certainly our leaderboard for the top performing models, because you might be surprised. I was genuinely surprised. I went into this having a fair amount of background in it, and still, some of the best performing models are not the most expensive, and they're not the ones you would expect. If you give them access to this power, they become way more powerful. And so it turns out that models that are good at organizing the information perform way above their weight once you just give them access to get it whenever they need it. And so that's why. And so if your experience with ChatGPT, what I would say is this, right? Like I have no interest in ChatGPT. I don't even own shares in them or anything like that. It's just I would actually say that GPT 5.4 Nano, which is their cheapest model, their absolute cheapest model, the cheapest model they've ever released, it's actually shockingly cheap, is actually I will share this part of our leaderboard. It is our current cost value leader of the many tens of thousands of runs we have done in terms of like total insights per dollar. No model beats GPT right now. Now, in terms of persona, like how well does it understand what you want? It is not GPT. I saw somebody give the answer right now. Oh, Robin. Yes, actually, surprisingly, Grok 4.1 Fast is actually our current persona leaderboard winner at the moment, in terms of like amount of personality per dollar, and the ability to like understand. And why does personality matter? If you're trying to get it to like understand complex topics, personality matters. So, but anyway, it's really interesting. Of course, like the super expensive frontier models like Opus from Anthropic. Is it really good at writing code? Absolutely, no question about it. Is it capable of using UpRock to great effect? Yes, of course, but that surprises nobody. But it also is impossibly expensive. The amount of tokens it has to ingest when it's doing research, when we're feeding it lots of different documents that we're getting from the web and search results and everything else, it gets out of hand very quickly. And what's interesting is on many research tasks, you can take a really cheap model, like some of the open source models or like some of the paid models. As I said, GPT 5.4 Nano blew me away just by giving it access to the UpRock ecosystem. It can pass the same. It can get 100% scores on the same kinds of tasks that the models that cost 5 and 10 times as much can. So it really unlocks the models. It's amazing. Jesse, we need to figure out a way of sharing our dashboard. Oh, right. I said I'd tell you guys why we haven't just open sourced it, because we usually do. So in order to run these dashboards, in order to make sure that our MCP and all the prompting and stuff we're providing the models work, we need to be able to test the models. And the problem is, if we take all of our tests and we put them on GitHub, then inevitably when the next version of the models come out, they will all get 100% on all of our tests because all of that data will go into their training set. So just like when you were in school and the teacher didn't put the answers to the test on the doors at the beginning of the year, you had to wait until after you took the test to see the answers. For the same reason, that's why we're not actually open sourcing the test, like the actual test parameters, because then inevitably, even if the model companies don't mean to do it intentionally, inevitably that data will leak into the training pipelines, and then we won't actually have a good test anymore. It won't tell us anything useful anymore. So in order to do this evaluation, some of you have probably seen, there's lots of companies out there. If you're into the AI space, there's lots of companies who are saying, hey, look, on this open source test, our models are getting better and better and better, right? Well, yeah, great. But the behavior we've seen when we wrote our own test, a test that none of these model providers has ever seen before, none of these models have ever seen before, the rankings we got do not necessarily match some of the claims that are out there. So having your own like exhaustive, really well-written test suite, it's just fascinating what's out there.
And why are we doing all this work to evaluate which models are for the best bang for the buck? It's because we are going to bring that Rocket Chat alive in the app itself. And so all the things we're building right now with OpenClaw and for the other agents, we want to put that right into the UpRock app as well. And we need to do that very, very efficiently. So it's coming, guys. It's going to be great. So we're doing all this testing, making sure the cost is good so everyone can use it right from the UpRock app and right through Rocket Chat. So pretty excited.
Pisky, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. If that is something you're interested in, there's already a box on UpRock.com. If you log into your UpRock account on the website, there's a place where you can sign up to be in the early group for Rocket. And Rocket is closer than ever Rocket has been before. Is that not so, Jesse?
Yes, sir. Let's go. Yeah.
Rocket, Jesse, I will spill the beans and say that we are actively working with what I think is very, very close to the final form of Rocket right now, like actually using it in our day-to-day work. Jen is giving me the stink eye because I haven't actually booted her Rocket up yet. I'm sorry, I ran out of steam last night and didn't get yours up. But
rude. Whatever.
Rude.
Whatever. I'm not mad. I'm not bitter.
That's okay. It doesn't matter if you are.
That's all.
Because I can always edit your Rocket's brain to have my revenge.
Cruel. You know what? I don't know. I don't know what all these tokens have done to your head, Chris, but you've become cruel in your AI world.
It's because I don't talk to anybody anymore. I just sit here and, like, honestly, if you think you're talking to me on Slack, it's a lie. It's just ChrisBot answering for me.
Oh.
Because there's a lot of talkie from some people on the team, and I just have never been interested, but now I don't have to be.
Oh, wow, you're just putting it all out there. You know what? Just as long as you don't do that at home, you do that to your wife or kids.
Oh, there is a story. Next time you meet my wife, you're gonna have to ask her what she did when she got put off by one version of ChrisBot.
You do use ChrisBot on your wife. Oh.
Well, it was an experiment to see how it went. Sadly, I didn't realize that she knew the folder it was in and would actually be able to delete it.
Oh, well, you like to live dangerously. I guess your middle name is Danger. Christopher Danger O'Connell.
This correct.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if that has
we went deep down that rabbit hole, but I'm so excited about this. It's a big launch. It's a big launch.
It's a big launch. So if you are, that we did go down the rabbit hole, but if you are excited about that, join UpRock community AI.
And I know the segue. Community. If you're like, man, my claw needs skills, but is UpRock really the right skill? Do they have what it takes to make my claw superpowers? Well, guess what? We just released our annual global internet survey, so we can show you how much superpowers we have. Huh? Is that the transition, or is that the transition?
Was it? That's what I needed, Christopher. Thank you so much. That was primo. Love it. So yes, we did, Christopher, launch or release our global internet survey.
Internet survey. annual-ish. I think technically it should have been out about 6 weeks ago, but we've been busy.
Yeah, Christopher, that was beautiful. I just got to say, and that was the real Chris, not even the bot. I think.
Christopher would like you to know that he's bored with your conversation now. So
He's checking out. He's checking out. Okay. Well, yes, as Christopher said, we have we've shared our results of our global internet survey. We talked about it last week. And so go check it out. We have the article on X if you want to get a deep dive into it. Here we go. But some summaries here. Okay, well, some power stats we shared last week. We had over 500 million speed tests were executed. Over 500,000 unique devices contributing ground truth.
Awesome.
In over 190 countries mapped in real time.
That's awesome. Yeah.
We so our global truth data set, 500,000 plus devices, 190 plus countries, and over 500 million plus verified speed tests. Our global averages show about a 40.2 megabytes per second download, 32.7 upload. The symmetry gap narrowing to 1.23 as AI demands rise for strong uploads. If you don't know, if you can't tell, I'm using Grok to summarize this. I'm doing it in real time. Like, is Grok doing a pretty good job at summarizing? Yeah, I think Grok is doing a good job.
Oh, I am so going to poison the next data set I give you so that it just throws something completely left field in there, like midway through. So yeah, let me.
The average internet speed is Chris is awesome. What?
The average internet speed was Chris was always what? So anyway.
You're gonna do like a Ron Burgundy thing where it's like, hey, go fuck yourself, San Diego.
The big no, I love San Diego.
It's
the big I know what you're talking. That one I do know.
Okay, thank goodness.
So here's the big takeaway from the global internet survey. So a couple of thoughts for anybody who looked at some of the previous surveys and say, hey, didn't you used to have more speed tests in there? These are deduplicated and verified. So these are unique speed tests per unique IP address per unique time period. So a lot of times if your device doesn't move and nothing changes about your speed test. So when we were looking at the methodology from previous years, one of the things we noticed was with the higher numbers of speed tests, if you were just like home all night and you ended up doing one speed test right before you went to bed and another one in the morning, and they were both the same and they were both from home, that's actually not that's useful to know. It can tell us things about the consistency of certain ISPs. But in terms of a global internet survey, that tends to weight the results too much for like people's home IP addresses and not enough for the places that they are transiently, but are often the places where they're actively interacting with the internet. So we changed how we deduplicated the results now. So these are more like 500 million unique, 500 million unique combinations of place and speed and epoch, so that they're actually really, really useful here. And so what we saw is, and I think this is a real effect, that the gap between download speeds and upload speeds is really starting to narrow globally. It's definitely still the case that on average people's downloads are about 20% faster than their uploads, but that's not super surprising. But that's a much different number than it was a few years ago. We're also seeing a lot more people using mobile networks regularly. Like, I think that people are just not bothering to turn Wi-Fi on as much. It's just not worth the hassle. Your mobile network works, and I'm sure people do turn it on. I turn it on sometimes. I turn it on at home, but if I'm out at a cafe or something like that, I really typically don't bother to try to get on their Wi-Fi anymore. You don't know what it is. You don't know how sketchy it is. Your phone works great.
Yeah.
And we still continue to see the big regional differences between different countries. We have some fast countries and some slow countries. Regions that are well built out in fiber are pretty fast, although the speed differences between them is really starting to even out. I think maybe that's my other big takeaway from looking at this, is that amongst the fastest countries, the speed has kind of peaked. It seems like gigabit home internet connections are just as fast as anybody really needs or wants right now. Yes, we see occasional devices coming in faster than that, but yeah, it seems like for a significant majority of people, it just doesn't once you get that 500, 600, 700 megabit or gigabit internet connection, there's just not a lot of reason to keep calling your ISP to find out when they're going to get faster internet in your region. But a lot more people do have access to those, and we see that those statistics are really borne out by our global internet survey. So if you're interested in data, or you know anybody who is, share the global internet survey with them. This is something that we give away. This is something that you guys in the community all help us to build by running your devices. But this is probably one of the most comprehensive data sets like this that's publicly available, because we just do this every year. We analyze all our speed tests, and we apply some good data science methodology to it, and we put our results out there for the world to know.
Yeah, it's very fun to see. And also just comparing this to last year, how much things have changed and grown. I like this stat that over almost 100,000 unique devices are performing between 500 to 6,000 speed tests annually. So like that's the continuous contributions and task availability for tasks. So heartbeat of this grabbing verified data and real world intelligence. So that's really cool to see. That number. I mean, there's so many more that are just contributing all the time, or contributing too, but this is like some power devices, power unique devices.
Yeah, I think those, I think what's interesting about that is I actually interpret that slightly differently than you. Those are the devices that never leave the house. Wherever they are, they're just plugged in somewhere. Maybe it's somebody's, so I'll give you an example in my own house. We've got kids, and our kids, my kids are young. I don't let them have a device of their own, right? I don't, I'm not giving a little kid a phone and being like, hey, this is your phone, kid. I don't know when I'm going to give my kids phones. My natural instinct is probably way too late, like when they're 27. But whatever it is, it's not going to be for years and years. But at the same time, sometimes they like to do some media. So I have a little iPad, and occasionally I use it for work stuff and for testing. And it's where we test our apps and stuff. But that's definitely, in my head, I sort of think of it as like, the kids' iPad, if they've been good and it's Saturday and they get to watch a little something, they can do it on that iPad. But the rest of the week, when I'm not using it for testing and the kids aren't using it for something, it just sits plugged into its charger on my desk with UpRock running there. And so that's the kind of device that would really have those super consistent things. And so that goes to show, those are the devices where, maybe people are using it for something around the house, or, it sits in the kitchen and it's always there, or in my case, it just sits on my desk, except on Saturdays when it goes, for the kids to watch it a little bit and so on.
That's a fair analysis. I would agree with that too. Like or the desktop apps. I'm curious how much of that is the desktop app or those devices. What's the percentage? But yeah, the phones or the devices or the laptops or the PCs that you just have staying at home, that they don't go out and play because they got a job to do, which is hopefully just in. All right. Well, that's really cool, guys. Go check this out. I'll put it in the chat again.
Cool. Okay.
Did I highlight it? Here we go. Highlight. Okay, there you go. Go check that out. It's a really cool survey. And yeah, like I said, it's so cool to see how much this has changed since last year. In fact, maybe we should do that. We should write a quick article on how much things have changed since the last year, the previous one.
Sure.
Because it's going to be a long one. There's a lot that's happened. All right. Well, let's move on, guys, to some product updates, shall we?
Yep.
Well, I mean, we've already given the big product update for this week's product launch, but yes, we got some.
Yeah, we got some product updates before we get into the video, we have another new badge that's coming out. So there's a new update that just came out. So keep your eyes peeled for that on on Android. We have the 1K Club badge. The First Steps badge is coming out as well. And that is for completing the onboarding quest. So when you first install UpRock, you go to Rocket Nodes and there's that quest that's like, hey, talks about what's DPIN, what's UpRock. You do that, you get that badge. And then coming up are Front Row and Roll Call. Front Row, these are check-in ones. So Front Row is watching the live stream every week, and you can earn this one multiple times. And then Roll Call is a daily check-in streak, and you can earn that multiple times as well. You just check in every day. So we will be releasing those in the upcoming weeks. So keep your eyes peeled for that update on Android.
And
no,
1K is out now, right? Yeah, people are seeing that one. That's good. Yeah.
Yep. You can unlock the 1K UPT badge by earning 1,000 UPT from your contributions. So not stuff that you got gifted or UPT that you purchased. It's from contributing. So you can get that faster.
We wanted to make sure that was not a buy to win kind of thing. So you have to actually earn a UPT from contributing.
Do surveys, referrals, games, and or just check in often. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So again, this is Android, iOS. We still review issues. So we will keep you posted when we have something better, something to share with.
Not even hell at this point. It's just purgatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, okay. So another thing is, last week a big update was rewarded videos.
Wait, I have a slide for it. Let me do my segues.
Let's keep moving.
There you go.
Okay. So last week we launched rewarded videos. Awesome. We had some people report on socials and Discord that the video didn't work. One of the providers actually they said that it actually we were like auto clicking the ads, and so we have to deal with that issue, but we updated with another provider, a backup provider, and so that's going out to actually came out and it should start working soon. So it's propagating throughout the system, and you guys should start seeing that. And we have seen some people actually I logged in and seeing it works. So if you had an issue, please maybe wait a day if you haven't seen it, but it should start. It should start playing now.
I actually, Jesse, I personally think the problem, we're still doing back and forth thing. I just think the problem is the community was so excited about this that the traffic numbers went up so fast that they're like, oh, it must be fraud. It's like, no, we just literally rolled it out to a lot of users.
I hope that's what it is. I mean, I know we have a couple questions. We already in the chat had a couple questions about this. Like, what happened to
the new video provider has been rolled out, yeah, we didn't stop them. They just you know what? I think it teaches us a lesson. I think it teaches us a lesson about this, which is when we roll something like this out now, the community is so big, we have to do it in a phased approach, because I really just think that what happened is the traffic went from, like 0 to hero so fast that they're like, oh, there must be something wrong with this. So we're going to still work on them so we have even more available, but we do have another source rolled out.
What's crazy is they didn't even give us a chance to appeal. It's just like you have to.
It was a weird process. So they said that we created bots to click the ads. And they're like, no, this is real people. They're excited.
And, we've been talking about it for weeks, for months.
We've been talking about it for weeks. We finally launched it, and then they said we're all bots. Like, no, it's not. No, but luckily we had some backup, so we rushed to do that, and we got that out, and now so far so good. So that's great, because we really want to just have this feature. This video reward program working great, and then we can move on to just adding more surveys and more inventory for the games too. So the games are in the works, surveys in the works. So that's next coming up. But rewarded videos, the problem is fixed. Please try again, and if you don't see it, just wait a day.
Yes. Well, we have the release out for release out So for internal track though, I think.
Yeah. Boom. See. It works now. Sweet.
Perfect.
Yeah, and if you're in Ireland, it's double. So double earnings, right? So you might as well do it now. You get Rocket Booster for this stuff, so you might as well try it out. And a lot of these videos are actually playable games, like mini games. Like they're actually really interactive, really pretty interactive like ads. So you can play a game and and you get rewarded for that. So
if my math is right, it's like
If
my math is right, it's like 6:30 in Ireland, so a lovely time for a pint of Guinness. And while you're waiting for the barman to pull your Guinness, just open up UpRock and watch a couple videos.
Exactly. So now there's multiple ways. You don't have to. All these things are optional, but it does help boost. And if you want to go in there, you can do so. And if you're checking it often, might as well do a daily check-in. But the games and the surveys do the best payout, and most people are playing some of these games already. So you might as well do it through the UpRock network, because you actually get paid. And when you get paid in tokens, it's liquid. When you get paid when you play games and you only get points in other games, it's in-game currency. You can't actually do anything with them. In UpRock, you can actually do stuff with it. So so this is exciting. This has been a long time coming. And please try again because it's working now, as Sasha just said, the Spaceman just said too.
Yeah. That
Cool.
was kind of a trip, wasn't it? It's like we had it out for a couple days, and you got and it's off. Like, what
Too
the
much
hell?
traffic. Like, really?
Yeah.
Really? Damn it.
we didn't even have time to finish our celebratory beer.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, glad that's out.
Cool.
All right, guys. So that's it. That's what we got for product updates. Well, I mean, we did a huge update. So I'd say, why don't we do a little bit of questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, the biggest updates, honestly, were the reward. We're updating the apps to do more of the crawling jobs, and Android app, and iOS is still in progress. We're gonna probably give ourselves a deadline. If we don't get an approval or any response, even in like a week or two, we might just re-upload the app, which means fresh, no reviews. But it's better than just being in limbo forever. So that's going to be the iOS. So I think we're gonna wait till the end of the month and see how that goes. But yeah, but the biggest updates, what you guys should care about, is all the tokens you're earning. Token go up when revenue and business go up. And so a lot of our progress is on the .ai. This is why we talk so much about the OpenClaw and the AI tools, and having you guys install that and using it. If you're using ChatGPT and using anything, go to UpRock.ai, use the tools, talk to all your friends about it. People are signing up. We have, with just OpenClaw again, like almost 700 people in the past couple of days. We have over, I think, close to 1,000 people who are on business customers are using the .ai side. I'm here in SF. Getting deals, like Chris said, we're closing a few pretty soon. That's going to be pretty awesome for the community, and that is our biggest updates for you guys. We're working hard to make the token strong. Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, let's go through some questions. Let me try to group these by topic. Spaceman says that the 1K badge is not working correctly for him. Can you give me some example? What's up with that one? What you're experiencing? Oh, here's the thing you should know: the 1K badge is different from the rest. There's no reward that's with it. That one's just a bragging rights one. Like you earned it. You got the badge. So that one is the only one so far that doesn't have a temporary boost or anything that goes with it. Let's see. By
the way, I think that in the future, all badges I should have that. I think
well, sometimes we'll have things like, just a bragging right. We're just testing different. We're testing
even if it's one UPT, but okay, sure. Okay, next one.
Yes. Zeph Paul asked, can we get more surveys? Yes, we are working. We are looking for more survey providers. Surprisingly, there's not as many survey providers as there are with games and video. We did try one earlier. We're on our second one right now. One that we tried earlier, we were not as pleased with, but maybe they have improved since last year. So we might take a look at them again. But we're looking at more survey providers because currently, depending on your region, you might not have any, which I suspect is happening with you. Yeah. So we're looking for more that have more of a global.
We have one. We are implementing it.
Yeah, we have. Yes.
Okay. We have actually a few. We're implementing one, and then let's see how that goes, and we'll do another one. Yeah. Okay.
Pisky asks, are you going to create a specific UpRock node device in the future?
No. And here's why. I love hardware. I would love to make hardware, but building an UpRock specific device is going to be expensive, and we're going to need a lot of people to buy it up front. And the thing is, if you're a network that needs very special hardware, maybe an ADSB receiver for ADSB exchange, or weather hardware, or GPS hardware in order to do GPS augmentation, then yeah, you need to sell a device. But what we've seen is that a lot of those, some of those networks have done okay, but a lot of them have had a major challenge in getting people to buy it, because it's a big upfront cost, to run it, because you have to actually have, like, if you're running dedicated hardware, it has to be plugged in usually, and so on and so forth. And it hasn't been effective. And on the flip side, what we've done is we've really focused on making our software super fast and easy to run on everyday devices, so that you don't have to have expensive hardware. You use the hardware you're already going to use. If you really want a standalone UpRock device, my advice is wait until you buy a new phone and then put UpRock on your old phone and just leave it plugged in somewhere with a good internet connection. So, or run it on your old laptop, or run it on your computer while you're not using it. So that's why that's been our focus. I love the idea of hardware. Like Jesse and I and Jen and others have talked about it a few times, but every time we talk about it, we just come back to the fundamental problem, which is no matter how well we made it, it would cost a non-trivial amount of money, and then you'd still have all the hassle of plugging it in and setting it up. And I don't think that's a great use of our time and resources for the community, when the answer is there's 5,000 companies out there making phones and computers. We work with literally any of those, or virtually any of those. So that's why we don't.
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
All right. Next we have well, this was already answered by Spaceman, but I just want to throw this out there in case anyone else is having this too. They say that the UpRock app is on their earning, but there's no balance in their wallet. Well, that is because, that's because if you are contributing on a new device, you need to finish on your Android. You need to finish device verification. So it's a process. It takes a couple of days. But you're still earning. So you're still contributing, you're still earning. So once that process is done, then you will see the amount that you have mined during that week transferred into your wallet.
Yeah. And device verification is to protect the community, because in the Web3 space, there are people who like to farm and do bot farms and fraud, and constantly try to just steal from the community, essentially. And so we have to have a verification to make sure it's a real human, real device. And we do that through through a series of tests that are hidden. We don't reveal how that works, but we do that to make sure it's a real device. And once good, then the earnings go in the wallet. So cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Another question, not question, more of a suggestion. It'd be great to have a paid boost option for mining or contributing. Not everyone enjoys installing games that take forever. Surveys are not always available. Please consider improving the mining rate. So we're always thinking about different ways we can improve or help you improve the earn rate. And that's how we came up with Rocket Booster. So anytime that you complete an action that, let's say, we get paid for, we pay you. So that pays you in UPTP, also in a boost rate for your earning. We have talked about this, doing a la carte purchase boosts that you can buy. But I think it would be more there's still also other things you could do. If you want more UPT, you could just also buy some. But you could also stake your UPT. We'll be reworking our staking program, but we still have one up. We have a stake UPT up currently, but we'll be reworking that so the staking comes with a boost, earn rate boost. But as far as like just buying UPT boost outright, I don't know when we'll have that. We'll introduce something like that, because I think there's other things that we'd like to improve. There are things we'd like to improve first before we do a la carte, like purchase bits.
Yeah, because it would be cheaper for you to just buy UPT, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But we do want to incentivize more staking. So like Jen said, like we have an idea for a sweet stakes program where we can do some randomized rewards for people who are have a certain level of staking, which would be fun, but also a badge system. So you can actually because people who stake we want to reward long-term holders, and that's awesome. So I think that's probably a first step. But if you just really want to like not waste time, honestly, the best thing is goes right to Jupiter or one of the crypto exchange dexes, and that's it. That's the best way to do it, honestly. Yeah. So okay.
All right. Cool. This is questions about how to increase your earn rate. I think that is I think we hopefully we answered your questions throughout the stream.
So just participate in the different parts of the platform. Mining, staking, games, surveys, now daily rewarded videos, which I'm so happy are out. Those are easy. And also, we are working all the time to increase our number of customers, which will increase our buyback, which goes straight to the question I saw somebody ask. So Spaceman asked about this, and Sasha then asked about the buy rate. So we do have revenue coming in. We do put that towards buyback. The buyback rate was not set properly this month. It was actually a little bit too high. So it should have been just a little bit lower, which is why we ran out a little bit early. But as we said last time, we were going to do so. We actually transferred in some of the money that would have otherwise gone to Mexi last week when we said we would, and then I think I did it a couple hours after the live stream, and then we're just going to have to do a little extra transfer now to top it up because we don't want it to run short with just a few days left in the month. But yes, actually the buy rate, the rate should be resetting about once a month. It was not properly reset for this month, so it was a little bit off. But actually, as a community, you guys should be happy about that because the buy rate was just a little bit high all month. So Jesse, I'm sorry, it's nothing but ramen for you for the next 4 days because we spent it all on community buybacks instead of.
He's like, joke's on you. That's all I eat anyway.
But anyway, yeah. So the buy rate, the buyback wallet will get filled back up for the rest of the month, and then it will get adjusted. And hopefully, knock on wood, if we're very lucky, it might even get adjusted up in a couple days. We'll find out in a few days when we have the numbers for the month. But I am happy to say that we have community's been doing well on some of the on the apps and games and stuff like that, and we have more data customers than ever coming in. So now we have the challenge of collectability. The more customers you have to send them bills and see how long it takes you to pay them. No, wait, how long it takes them to pay you. Yeah, that's what we like. So we'll keep adjusting the buyback as we keep bringing in more revenue.
Mm-hmm. And as a reminder, if you have anything in Mexi, any of your UPT, please withdraw it.
Oh yeah, if you have anything in Mexi, withdraw it. Thanks. Good reminder. I'm glad I mentioned that in passing. And yes, Spaceman, I know it was not supposed to stay at 202. It was supposed to get adjusted at the beginning of the month, and somehow that just didn't get done properly. So, I know this somehow. We've had a we've had a little internal heart-to-heart about how that happened, but didn't make sense to reset it in the middle of the month, especially since we said we were going to do extra buyback with the Mexi money that we would have otherwise spent at Mexi, and we did. So we're just going to let that roll for the rest of the month, and then we'll adjust.
Yeah. All right, great. I think that's all we got left for questions, but we do have one suggestion. Unless there's anything else about the music. Unless there's anything else
you have this one here. Do you want to answer this
one?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
how
can I have this one?
Different from grass? Christopher, take it away.
So the biggest difference, and the most important one in my opinion, is grass is an extension in your browser that can access all of your data, and UpRock is not. We don't run in your browser. We can't see what websites you visit. We can't see your browsing history. We couldn't if we tried, but that's why we are a standalone app. That's why we went to all the time and trouble and effort to be a standalone app. We also are much more mobile centric. So we've been developing mobile apps for years, so UpRock is much slimmer and much more resource efficient. Our goal is to be a really good guest on our users' devices. So yes, we use some of your idle bandwidth, but we definitely try to never get in your way when there's something that you want to do. And last of all, over the last couple of years, it's interesting this question just came up again because we haven't heard it in a while. And I think the reason for it is maybe we kind of both, us and Grass, started from a similar place and have gone in very different directions in terms of like what we've actually built. So UpRock has really been about continuing to build the wide-scale research and data access network that AIs need, while we've also been actually really building out all the rest of the community. We've been building out a bunch of different ways to earn and building a complete full-featured app that is Web3 centric, but has a bunch of different ways of earning and interacting with our community. Whereas I'd say Grass really tended to focus more on a certain kind of big data analysis. And I think, I'm not a daily Grass user, but I check it out occasionally. I think they've focused a bit less on sort of having a lot of different ways of interacting with the community.
Yeah, I think their last thing I saw. Also, I'm not. It's hard for us to know unless you're a follower of Grass because they've been quiet on social. Actually, I actually follow them, and the last thing they mentioned was like December. They had some significant thing around video. They launched some video site stuff, and so I think they're that's yeah really they're really special focused on video. While we like Chris said, we're more like the multimodal data engine for this AI human revolution that's happening. Because it's not just going to be video; it's going to be everything: text, images, audio, all of it. And
So,
building tools that the agent. We're building tools that agents can consume because if it's really great for agents, then it's going to be really great for a human. And this is why the MCP, CLI, the npm package, all those things are easily consumable and connectable. You can connect them to an agent. This is the future. This is why the NVIDIA gave OpenClaw a 30-minute shout out at one of the biggest tech conferences in the world last week in California. So that world is happening and we're ready for it. So this is infrastructure, web intelligence infrastructure for this human agent collaborative future that's coming. It's here actually, but it's growing. So I think that's maybe the biggest difference. We start in place, but I've noticed since their last post, they have been quite quiet, is they have really focused on the video problem, which is a problem, but not as much as, but we think it's all of it. It needs to be able to, you need to be able to get everything. Yeah.
So, and I will correct what I said. Spaceman said Grass is beginning to move away from the browser extension towards the native apps, which I think is great. That's what we've been doing since day one, because the browser extension is just not a great story from a security standpoint.
Yeah.
And it's not great for users to be asked to install that. And yeah, it's just.
There you go.
Yeah. The only extensions I like are in my hair.
Nice.
On my nails. How about that? All right. Well, hey, actually, this is not about Grass, but speaking of video, you guys saw the news about Sora? The Sora has its doors. No more.
Well, they're gonna compete. They want to compete with Claude, and I get it because Sora was. If you're into content creating, Sora kind of sucked compared to like Gemini was actually good. Grok was really fast, and then the Chinese models that came out, something Seed, I forgot something Seed. I mean, it's crazy what they're doing with video, and so I think they just thought, no, let's just not even compete with that now. And so they're going after Claude and Perplexity, which is all about software and code. Yeah.
Well, I also think my other part of my analysis, my personal view on this is that, so I agree with you that Sora had become sort of a mid video model. And the other thing is, when you think about, especially since it came out a while ago, my bet is that it was very, very compute heavy. And, they're building data centers as fast as they can. They're racking and stacking GPUs as fast as they can. But given the demand for the other models, I bet that, for each rack of Sora compute that they took down, they're able to support, I don't know, 5, 10, 20, 50 text streams at the same time. And that's just way more efficient. That's where the customers are clearly. And I actually wonder, I genuinely wonder that the release, they did something really interesting they've never done before with GPT 5.4 Nano, which is they actually have multiple pricing tiers for it. So you can ask for it to be like fast or not fast. And what's interesting is the not fast is still pretty fast. And I suspect that the way they're actually implementing that is they're probably running it on some of their older hardware. So I bet some of the hardware that they maybe like a year ago, 18 months ago for Sora might not be fast enough to be like super fast for their top of the line text models, but like, oh, we were able to make 0.4 work on it, but it's just a little slower. So we're going to charge less for it, but we can still use that older hardware. I don't know if that's true. I have no personal insight, but just thinking about like the announcements they're making, that kind of makes sense to me. Like, oh, let's try to reuse that hardware for something that's actually more useful.
Yep.
All right. Okay, last one is not a question, but a suggestion from our dear Sasha. Would be good if one chosen at the end of the stream, we're talking about the music at the end of the stream, to nominate the music, or not just the music, the muzak. Or we have a DJ Jesse's songs. Chris, what's the URL for your playlist, by the way?
UpRock.com/livestream songs or something like that. Let me check.
That's funny.
I'll send it to you.
Well, during this stream, I since we talked about Rocket Chat coming soon, and they're all like,
I found it, Chris.
we're all like waiting for it with rage. So I made a death heavy metal anime Rocket Chat rage song.
Did you really?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I just made it while you guys are talking.
Okay, well here's what you can
good. That's our outro song.
So Jesse, you have to send me these after you make them so I can put them up on the site. But yeah.
Here's the latest. Here's where you can find the songs. Before we hear this death metal one, let me just say I hope it's I think they can't all be winners. They can't all be
anime. So it's no, I didn't put the word deathcore, so I was not too crazy.
Jesse, if this is non-melodic after the song you shipped last week, you're going to lose your music privileges.
I was going to say they can't all be winners, but God, that was last week's so not a winner. We were messaging each other.
Cheesy. Oh yeah.
We were messaging each other in the private chat as it was going on. We're like, this. It's giving divorce, Dad.
I mean, I didn't think it was that bad. I kind of liked it, but
I was listening to it.
It wasn't a banger.
I'm gonna leave the screen.
All right, we'll see how this one goes. But you know what? I gotta say, you've made so many songs, and they've all you've prompted so many songs, and they've all been hits.
Well, but I think the difference is he listens to them first, and then we'll tweak them once or twice to make them better. So Jesse, if only you knew what time live stream was going to be next week, so that you could listen to it in advance and just tweak it until it was good.
This is one shots. These are one shotters. Well, the AI knows me well, and so it helps me write lyrics pretty quick. So let's see. But yeah, are we done with our product updates though? Are we good?
Actually, we have one question that just popped up.
One late breaking question I can answer, and so I segment. So is the earnings boost on one device or on all your devices? Earnings boost are on your account. So on all your devices.
Keep it simple. It's just your account. Yep. That way you don't have to worry about. That way you don't have to worry about like, oh, can I have to apply it to this one or that one? We thought,
or like, I don't know, maybe you leave your computer mining overnight, but you were out and about and you did a survey on your phone. Cool, it all works.
Yeah, we'll just give you the best possible rate possible. Yeah, so we just wanted to keep that real simple for you. Cool. All right. Well, awesome. I have a few more AI events today, tomorrow, and Saturday. I think next week we'll have some really strong updates on customer development, which is exciting because that contributes to the buyback program. And that's always, thanks for tuning in. So maybe Chris, what do you guys?
Thanks for sharing your Thursday with us. Thanks for tuning in. It means a lot to us. We know that when you choose to fly, I'm sorry, wrong announcement. We know that when you choose to listen to three chuckleheads talking about what's exciting about drinking in Ireland online, you have a lot of options. I mean, honestly, you probably do. Everybody has a goddamn podcast these days. That's why this is not a podcast. It's a live stream. Anyway, it means a lot to us that you guys come out and support us and join us. Thank you very much. If you use OpenClaw, install the skill. It's amazing. And if anybody is getting some vibes about, boy, you guys are shipping a lot of AI stuff. When is Rocket going to launch?
Yeah.
Oh, we've got fuel in the rocket.
That's
Jesse,
right.
What did I say on Slack the other day? You said something about rocket launch date. And I'm like, I don't care if you're on the goddamn rocket. We're launching.
Nice. All right. Rocket AI is almost here, fellas and ladies and community. Let's go.
Oh, Rocket AI is here, right? The MCP is Rocket AI. It's all Rocket AI.
Oh, Rocket Chat.
Rocket Chat is almost here.
Oh yeah, actually yes. This was the message that Christopher sent. I could tell
you can't read that message. I said
no, I won't read it all, but there was just a lot of asterisks in it. But like pumped up asterisks, not like I'm pissed, like the pumped up one. So I could tell not only is there fuel in the rocket, there was also fuel in the Christopher.
Nice. All right, everybody. Cheers to y'all. Here we go.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Rocket is
Let's hear this song, Jesse.
From placed in the circuit. Remember the name. It learns from the noise. It shines.